I have incredibly mixed feelings about 100%ing games. And by 100%ing, I mean just getting all the achievements or trophies, not actually doing 100% of everything the game has to offer, because some of the sizes of these games, it just isn't worth it. But the same can go for some of the achievements for a lot of these games, because some of them are just brutal and they don't even feel like they've been play tested half the time. And then there are some that are just designed to waste your time and increase the play time for whatever reason. I don't know, there's probably some psychological reason to make you not play anything else, so you only focus on the specific game you're playing. It's probably something Ubisoft do. It's 100% something that Ubisoft do. They're not a good company. And what makes this worse is you just don't know sometimes with games. Like, for example, Elden Ring is easier to 100% than Sackboy: A Big Adventure. I'm not even joking here, you can look that shit up. The Knitted Night Trials are not in Elden Ring, so you don't, Elden Ring is significantly easier. Sometimes achievements can enhance an experience on a game, pushing you to do everything the game has to offer, and by everything I mean actual quality content, making you try new things that you wouldn't have otherwise. So I wanted to talk about some games that I've 100%ed that I didn't find absolutely miserable to do. And the first one I want to talk about is Half-Life Alyx. Most of the achievements for Half-Life Alyx are just beating the story. There's nothing else much to it. I mean, there's the occasional gimmick like carrying a bottle of booze for a chapter, but it's nothing like super tough and super time wasting. But the one achievement that made me play the game entirely differently was the gnome achievement. The one where you have to carry a gnome through the entire game. And the reason why I'm saying Half-Life Alyx was more enjoyable than, say, Half-Life 2 Episode 2 or whichever one it was you had to carry a gnome in for that one, is because Half-Life Alyx is in VR, so you physically have to carry the gnome and then figure out what to do with your other hand. Like, you can't reload weapons whilst carrying the gnome, so if there's any combat encounter that you have to deal with, you need to place that fella down, remember where you've placed it, and then take care of the enemies and come back to it and try and find it again. And there were multiple occasions where, in all the chaos and all the explosions and bullet fire, the gnome was knocked down somewhere and I had to search and scour the area to try and find the fella. Or, there's a chance you can just drop it at a really bad spot and you have to reload a save. It was just a really fun experience to do in VR, and it wasn't tedious. It was just a lot of fun. It helps that Half-Life Alyx is probably the best VR game ever made, so that definitely enhanced the experience. The next one that was an absolute blast to 100% was Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. And I'm putting Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart specifically here because there is no achievement in that game that is tedious, monotonous, or just wastes your time. It is just an incredibly simple achievement list. You don't even need to do everything, which could be seen as kind of bad. Like, for example, getting all the gold bolts. I think you only need like half of them to get the last gold bolt achievement that you need. But like, I don't know, it's just the hardest achievement to get in Rift Apart was killing like a few enemies with the least popular gun. And it's like this shield launcher gun that no one uses in their playthrough, and you need to max it out to be able to use the ability that you have to kill a few enemies with. That is the toughest achievement, and even then you can do it in like 15 minutes. All the other achievements is like finding some collectibles, doing a certain thing that you wouldn't have otherwise, doing a side quest on a planet. It's just fun. It was just a fun 100%, and I've done it twice. It was a good time. Another fun 100% is Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, which was a mouthful. I actually have a video going through my 100% experience on this channel because I kind of thought I wanted to try out doing those 100% videos. It was kind of a nightmare to do, so I never did another one after that. But Pirate Yakuza was a good time. It was a good experience because it just had you engaging with everything the game had to offer. You didn't need to do 100% of everything, thankfully, and that includes not learning how to play Mahjong, because I am never going to learn how to play Mahjong, which is why I'm never going to 100% any of the other Yakuza games. The only other one that I've 100%ed is Infinite Wealth, but that was not a very fun experience, and that's another video I want to make, the miserable 100%s that I do have. Luckily, we're talking about the good ones, and another good one is Doom the Dark Ages. Another case of just engaging with the game, just doing everything the game has to offer, and it is just a blast. You need to do all the challenges on all the levels, and there's 3 for each level, and it has you doing a unique thing for each one that's usually really fun, and sometimes it's something that you wouldn't try, making you use a weapon you otherwise wouldn't use, or getting a certain item, or killing a certain enemy in a certain way. There's also all the collectibles. There's something about collectibles in the Doom levels that are just so fun to find. And because Doom the Dark Ages goes for a more open approach for some of the levels, it's just a lot of fun finding all the little hidden nooks and crannies to find the collectibles in. It was just a good time all the way through. I'm very excited for the DLC to get the achievements for that. I've also 100%ed Doom Eternal, so you're probably wondering why that isn't on the list, and I'll talk about that in the miserable 100% video. You know, you gotta like and subscribe, stick around to see that, to see why I didn't like 100%ing Doom Eternal, despite the fact it's my favourite first-person shooter ever made. Now to move on to the next one, Resident Evil 4 Remake and Resident Evil 4 Original. I wanted to put these two together because Resident Evil 4 Original, the hardest achievement is literally just beating it on Professional. There's only 12 achievements for it, so I don't actually have much to say because it just involves you playing through Resident Evil 4, and as you probably already know, Resident Evil 4 is one of the best games ever made, just like the remake. But because it's a remake, they've expanded heavily on the achievements, and you have to play through Resident Evil 4 Remake about like 6 or 7, maybe 8 times to get all the achievements, which sounds like an absolute nightmare. And yeah, it would be if Resident Evil 4 Remake wasn't such a good game, and if the achievements were just, you know, boring shit. But the achievements that you have to get are like challenge runs. Like, you can't talk to the merchant once, or you can't heal once, you can only use pistols and knives, and you can stack a lot of these achievements to make it harder for yourself, which is probably why I enjoyed getting all the achievements for Resident Evil 4 Remake so much, because there was just so much variety in the playthroughs to get them. And it's not even like Resident Evil 4 Remake is that long of a game. You can beat it pretty quickly if you know where to go and know what you're doing, so it's just a blast. I had so much fun beating it. I had so much fun getting all the achievements, and I got all the achievements in separate ways like a week after it coming out, because that was a similar experience. Another good 100% was Sunset Overdrive. Not any of the Spider-Man games, I'm talking about Sunset Overdrive. This is the best Insomniac open world to 100%, and that's because there's no New Game Plus achievements. Fuck New Game Plus achievements, and fuck them in the Spider-Man games, because the Spider-Man games have really annoying drawn out sections like the MJ and Miles sections in the first game that you can't skip on a repeat playthrough, so the New Game Plus achievements are just suck absolute dick. Sunset Overdrive has none of that. It is just the collectibles, which would be tedious if the game wasn't an absolute blast to jump around in. There's beating the story, doing side quests, which again, just an absolute blast to do, because Sunset Overdrive is just an amazing game to jump around in, just to be in that world. And yeah, that's, I don't know what else to say about the 100% in Sunset Overdrive. It just takes a bit of time, but there's no problem with that because it's such a fun game. There's no point where it feels tedious, and I would 100% it again. If they remastered it and put it on Steam, I would 100% that shit again in a heartbeat. I also love Silent Hill 2, specifically the remake. This was a good 100% as well, because just like Resident Evil 4 Remake, to get some of the endings in that game, you have to play it a different way. Like, for example, to get the bad ending, I think you have to spend a lot of time injured. To get the Maria ending, you need to constantly interact with Maria. I'm not entirely sure what you need to do specifically. That was the ending I got on my first playthrough, and I felt kind of bad that I got that ending because of the way James acts around her. The best ending is Leave. That one's just, that's what most people get on their first playthrough. But there's a few New Game Plus achievements which kind of contradict what I said about Spider-Man, but the difference between Spider-Man and Silent Hill 2 is there are changes in New Game Plus, and also it's a horror game and there's no tedious bits that make you want to die. So yeah. It's just like Resident Evil 4 Remake, horror games are usually an absolute blast to 100%. Silent Hill 2 is no different. Now, the best 100% I've ever got is The Evil Within, and I'm not even playing around. I have 100% of that game. It took me like 100 hours because it is hard as shit, but it's a good hard as shit. This game tests you. There's no gimmicks. I mean, there are gimmicks, you die in one hit on Akumu, but there's no gimmicks. It is just peak all the way through. All the achievements are so good. It's also a horror game, so it's amazing to replay. Best 100% I have that shit showcased on my Steam profile. I'll have it linked down below if you want to witness the absolute beauty of my 100% on The Evil Within. And yeah, peak game. We need a third one. I need to 100% the second one. I still haven't done that yet. Shit, I need to go do that. But before I do that, I want to thank my Patreon supporters. A big thanks to Pitstab, Bouncer Storm Productions, and Daniel I've forgotten how to say it again. Daniel Levchenko. I think I said it right. And a huge thank you to my channel members, Resistance Lion, Griefgar, and some Bolding Guy rambling into the void. Thank you all so much for the support on the channel. Also use code Proxidist for 20% off on G Fuel. Any tub at all. They'll soon include a Proxidist mucus green G Fuel flavor if we get enough sales, maybe. I don't know. I'll see you all in the next video.